Not had it. Yeah.
Okay, good morning. It is Tuesday, July 26, 2022. The Richland County Commissioners are now in session. Commissioner Vero, joined by Commissioners Banks and Mears. Clerk Stacy Crawl, Carmen Torrance, Charlene Newman from JFS, County Administrator Andrew Keller, Archie McMicrowaves in the back, waving the camera there, Archie. Because I believe we have Hawkeye Pierce and BJ Honeycutt online. Is that correct?
Carl and Al are there.
Okay. So we are here this morning. We're going to knock out a routine item before we get to our other 9:30. Charlene, you have a need for an external job posting.
I do. One of our daycare transportation social workers found another job. She terminated employment. I'd like to post that as soon as possible to external, which Ohio means jobs, and any place we can post it to get that job filled. I believe it's
$16.75.
75 an hour. It does require a degree.
Sure.
A 2-year, right. That's state specifications. So right now we have other caseworkers covering. So the sooner better.
Okay.
Requesting
Motion.
So move to post it.
Second.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Mears, Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Okay, next up, you guys are up here to request approval of a contract cancellation. It'd actually be 2 contracts. Why don't you go ahead and take it away a little bit?
I'm asking the board permission to terminate 2 contracts. The provider is MBIE. If you're not familiar with that organization, it's Mary McLeod Bethune Intervention and Enrichment Center. They provide transportation for both our NET, which is non-emergency transportation program, and they have had a small contract this summer for summer youth. The reason I would like to terminate both of those contracts August 25th. Reason is they have an individual that has been driving with no license. And we understand after doing some investigation that has been going on for over 4 months. That is a violation of their internal policy and certainly a violation of our contract. So I would like for the board to take immediate action and allow me to send a letter indicating that within the next 30 days, both of those contracts are terminated.
I believe we'd actually send 2 letters, one for the youth and one for the net, correct?
That's correct. I have those here. Carmen normally sends our letters when we go. We have to terminate contracts. Carmen, the business administrator, sends a letter out as our standard operating procedure. I have spoken to the director. She's aware of this action would potentially occur.
Thank you for such decisive action. Oh, do you have anyone in mind that would replace these services?
Well, thanks for asking. Currently, I have in front of me, because I want to be sure the public realized that we were going to be able to reschedule folks when we needed to, and we were going to still have a continuation of services. Just to give you some idea of the magnitude of transportation in Richland County with JFS. In 2021, we expended over $1.4 million. We had 36,000 trips. What's important to realize is that this contract is only 13% of our overall services. So again, the amount of folks that are going to be affected is it's manageable. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 other service providers that we will be contacting. I'm sorry, I need to get to the point here. We have 6 other providers of services that we will be contacting and referring. Advantage, All American, Apple Lane, C&D, B&D Rides, and Elite are the names of the providers of services now that we still have contracts with.
Motion to cancel both the net and youth contracts with MBIE with a 30-day notice provided to MBIE.
So moved.
Rivera,
Yes.
Mears,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, ladies,
Any questions?
questions?
Yeah, thank you. Just a couple. When you contacted MBIE, were they not aware that this individual was driving without a license?
Is this Carl?
Yes, yes.
You know,
Carl, we believe they were aware.
And how long is this a male or female driver? And how long had they been performing driving under these two contracts, or was it just one contract they were driving under, or both?
Carl, they were driving under both contracts until,
They, I don't mean to interrupt you. You said they. I think you mean the driver, right?
right. The individual that was an employee of Alberta Williams was driving, that we have evidence for at least 4 months without a driver's license, was providing services for our clients.
Now, when you did your investigation, were you able to determine how they lost their license, or had they never had one?
You can do a public record search on Mr. Ricardo Upchurch if you like.
Okay, and how do you spell Mr. Upchurch?
RICARDO Upchurch UPCHURCH. And you may want to inquire with the Mansfield Law Director's office how they've handled some of those previous cases.
And Charlene, what was the dollar amount on these two contracts, the youth and the net? And is net an acronym for something?
Thank you.
NET is non-emergency transportation. That's the acronym. And that is a Medicaid federal funds. Those programs come in, and therefore, again, people who have medical needs. What was the other part of the question?
Yeah, what was the dollar amount on the two contracts?
So we don't do the contracts with a specific dollar amount. They're a unit rate, and it all depends on who we schedule the service with. So we have 4 to 6 different providers who at the time can provide the service at the cheapest rate is who we schedule the transportation with. I think that they spent in 2021, they spent $200,000. We spent $200,000.
On
200.
with MBIE?
Yes.
For non-emergency transportation. I cannot report the youth amount because we haven't been billed yet. But for last year, and I'm talking about 2021, it's
Mhm.
200,733.38.
So
And
in
they actually serve 589 consumers unduplicated, which is 13% of our overall expenditures.
Okay, so you said in 2020, I just want to make sure we got the numbers right. In 2021, it was $200,000 for NET or net, and 200,733 for youth.
No,
No,
Okay,
we're just talking net. So for net during 2021, the exact amount was $200,733.38.
and I stated that I couldn't provide data for the youth right now because we haven't been billed yet.
okay.
We expect within 30 days, the youth contract will technically end August 25th, and we will receive an invoice
They have 30
a few
days to
days
provide an
afterwards.
invoice.
Mhm.
Now, are you anticipating, since this person was in violation of the contract by driving without a license, that you're going to feel obligated to pay on this contract, or at least for the last 4 months?
Well, we're waiting to get further verification for the youth contract, Carl. We haven't paid them yet. I will discuss that with the board at another meeting.
And who's your contact, or what's the name of the folks at MBIE that I could reach out to discuss this with once this meeting's done?
Alberto Williams.
It's Alberta Williams.
Okay. Okay. That's what I had. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Al, any questions?
Yeah, since some of that bill has been paid, would you be looking for a refund on those 4 months?
That's a possibility, yes.
Al, we're gonna review all options. We kudos again, echo Cliff's sentiments. Charlene and Carmen acted decisively when they brought this to the board on Thursday, and here we are already by Tuesday.
I need proper documentation to verify when this individual, and I will have it, when this individual provided services. And if that is the case, we will ask for the money back. Or we won't pay it. It depends upon the billing cycle.
Well,
Carl.
we'll discuss all options. We have a contract, and we'll discuss that with Andrew and the board.
Will we in the future, will we do a little more monitoring on this so that if something like this happens, we know?
Well, this wasn't a result of not monitoring, Daryl. This is a result of an individual giving us the information. We had no idea he didn't have a driver's license. She verified, it was verified that in fact, there was a license at one point.
So the owner of the company verified.
Correct.
Yeah,
Any
that
other-
was- no, that was all that I had. Thank you.
Is it middle initial A, Ricardo Upchurch? Do you know?
I believe that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, ladies. We have a couple minutes till our 9:45. Certify the record of proceedings for July 21, 2022. Second,
Commissioner Vero,
yes.
Commissioner Mears. Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Motion to approve requisitions.
So moved.
Second,
Commissioner Vero,
yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Motion to accept voluntary resignations of two child support employees who are Heather Toman, August 5th, and Ryan Jackson, August 12th.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Motion to authorize an internal job posting for a case manager at Richland County Child Support Enforcement Agency.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Daryl.
Yes.
Okay, motion to authorize the transfer of CDBG funds from the Renaissance project to the Village of Plymouth. Renaissance has requested that the money be released and utilized for another project, and we have the Broadway Street Improvement Project in Plymouth. So motion to do that.
I'll make the motion and thank Jodica for the explanation.
Yes.
I have no problem with this. I'm curious though, what's the chronology on this? When was this originally approved for the Renaissance? Just out of curiosity.
I don't remember. It was,
been last.
yeah, it's a 2-year cycle. So last year, I think you were here when we approved it.
I don't remember that one.
I think so.
Money would have, yeah.
Right.
I can look it up to tell you, but
Just curious.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right, Rachel, we almost got through all our, I know we're gonna call you the bearer of bad news this morning.
I don't want to be though.
You're here to talk about copy paper and the never-ending world of inflation.
Correct. Yes. And truthfully, this goes all the way back to about 2009 or 2010, when all the paper mills decided that it was a great idea to close because they weren't making any money. So it'd be the United States mills. Well, now it's come back to haunt us because a good portion of paper that comes into the United States is coming from Ukraine. Ukraine obviously is probably not processing paper right now, and it's not top on their list. So now we're all struggling in the United States. I mean, yes, we feel bad for no. So this has kind of been a long time coming of this whole thing, but at the end of the day, prices are very volatile. The suppliers are warning all of the vendors that there's going to be a major increase September 1st, and they're looking at a 4 to 7% increase. So there was a slight increase for August pricing, very slight. I did ask Friends and Ritters. Friends did come in at the best price. They only increased their amount by, I think it was like 1.46% just for August. But they would only hold the price just for August. Ritters, their pricing, and I did talk to Gordy Pepper. He's just guy in the Hawaii world. And he said right now, every company is struggling, or every vendor is struggling to just get paper. And the thought of trying to get paper for Richland County, he's not even sure if his supplier would be able to do that. So he increased his price by quite a bit because of possibility of going to another supplier and, you know, the cost of that. So my suggestion is to go ahead and stay with Friends for August. And the increase, like I said, that I quoted was 1.46%. And that was mainly on the 8.5 by 11 because that's the bulk of what we purchase. And I don't know if you guys need me to talk any more about.
No, this was kind of close to me because I retired from the publishing and printing business, and I was pretty much very close to paper industry. I knew a lot of the papers that we received were from Finland and Eastern and Western Europe when I was in the business. And
Can't you call in any contacts to get
Please
for the taxpayers originally?
get them out of retirement.
There's-
the capacity had been an issue actually many years ago, but the labor shortage and also the freight cost to bring the papers in from Europe
Definitely. Yes. I mean, this,
exponentially because
yeah,
it wants to bring it over from Europe.
absolutely.
Price it all.
This is the perfect storm at this point in time because it's not only going to affect our copy paper, the paper we used, but it's going to affect toilet paper, paper towels, anything that has paper in it.
Books.
We are going to see a huge increase. And then on top of it, the fuel. As everybody has noticed, a lot of envelopes are now brown, and that's because it's extra cost to bleach that. So they're trying to just save money by not bleaching that paper and keeping it.
Now, why do they need to be brown? White or just as fine?
Which it's more expensive.
It's more expensive to
Oh,
bleach it than just to keep
Okay,
it
so-
natural brown.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
I
it's
see more groundwoods because that's cheaper.
Yep.
As well.
you'll
absolutely.
see a switch and
So, yes, I am the bearer of bad news. It's the market. Sorry. Another bad thing, and I know this for like the courts and a couple of other departments, they use a lot of colored paper. Well, right now, most of the manufacturers are not making any colored paper at all. So what is in these warehouses, that's all we've got. So they're going to have to rethink what they're doing. And
I don't think I ever used colored paper.
the courts do it a lot for like sending out
Carbon.
messages, whatever. Another one, 8.5 by 14, you're legal. That's gonna get very serious because
Looks like Judge Robinson's gonna need to start chiseling on a rock.
That we wouldn't want to use email.
Oh. So what's the exact motion, Rachel?
the motion is to approve the pricing for August with Friends Business. Or, I'm sorry, excuse me, they're now Friends Office.
Motion?
Second,
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Mr. Mears,
Yes.
Mr. Banks.
yes, we have to, it's about September. Should we do it?
We will
Have pricing yet.
know, yeah, we will not know until probably towards the end of August. So I'll be getting on the schedule.
Coming back up with some goodness.
Yeah, yeah, I know one supplier is talking 8%. And it's like, okay, I guess we are gonna start chiseling on those. Yeah, on those rocks. So as a county, we really need to be mindful of our purchases and how we're using our paper. You know, if you don't have to print it, don't print it. And just, you know, everything that we use our paper for, I just threw away, excuse me, I just threw away a bunch of things out of my wellness folder. And I'm like, why did I even print that? I shouldn't have. Mindful, pardon me.
Don't eat the internet.
Exactly. So anyways, but thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Sorry for the bad news.
Can I ask off the top of your head, copy paper costs for a month for the county?
It varies just because of what the departments need at the time. So like juvenile, they like to do one mass order a couple of times a year. So it can vary from month to month. So I've never really,
Okay, yeah.
I've never really come up with a true cost. I could, if you want me.
Might warn juvenile if they're not where they're at in their cycle, they may want to order a bunch.
Well, I'll send out the prices.
They have 4 administrators. I'm sure one of
Well,
them.
they
could
probably
order
are.
paper.
They're probably all over this. I'm sorry.
I said that out loud.
I didn't.
Thank you very
Thank you, Rachel.
much. Absolutely.
right,
Rachel,
we are not-
what was the August increase?
Let me pull that paperwork out again, just a second.
It was
And if
I
you
thought I
like,
heard two figures.
1.46.
1.46.
yes, 1.46 is the increase just for August between what we're paying now and versus what Friends Office is quoting. And
Okay,
that's for the 8.5 by 11.
Okay, that's, the August was what I wanted. Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Okay, we will not be approving the fairgrounds roof project today. I think that's coming Thursday, Stacy.
Maybe
Maybe.
waiting on some information.
Waiting on information. So we're gonna scratch that. All right, we have a change order for Dayspring and you know, nothing's ever cheaper. So we have a request for a change order of an additional 3,8. Let me make sure it's kind of blurred out, 67.40. And the reason for the change order is we need additional pavement removal and replacement near the south wing of the building. May we have that motion?
Second,
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
yes.
Okay, last on our agenda this morning is discussion on the sales tax share with the other political subdivisions. Stacy, lead us into the discussion, please.
The auditor's office has requested your resolution for 2023. Probably should have did it last week, but they wanted the decision in July. Asking what the commission would like to do. I mean, it's early, but the auditor is requesting it.
So we started the year on an increase on sales tax, right? We're talking the excess piece always. We have the road mileage that we share. That comes out to a little over 1.4 million through the villages, cities, and townships. Then we have the second piece, which is the excess piece, which is at the commissioner's discretion. Thoughts?
What did that amount to last year?
Around 567,000. I'm gonna get my computer. I just looked at it yesterday. Around 567. 1 second, please.
Did we base that on a percentage or?
No, I just felt that, I think so let me pull up my spreadsheet here.
We just kind of base it on the prior year.
We maintain, let Tony bring up he's got a detailed
Oh, yeah.
sheet.
My, there it is. Okay, gentlemen. So, we had no change from 21 to 22 on the excess piece. And in fact, if I'm looking at it, we reduced it in 2018. We reduced it by 1% in 2019. It was 1% in 2020, no percent in 2021. So we did not have any reductions for 21 into 22, excuse me. But we made a decision at the end of 2021 or this July timeframe.
Dropped it in 2020. And
Yes.
2019
1%.
in each of those years.
Yeah. So now we're looking at making the decision for 2023. My thoughts are no change, but I think we need to have that discussion with them when we have the fall meeting, when we go to Walton Lake, of what the position of sales tax is. Because we did start out the year well, but I think we at least need to put them on notice that sales tax is dropping substantively. And at least give them an opportunity to plan as they head well into 2024. Those are just my thoughts.
Well, we know sales tax is coming down. Are we going to keep giving them the same amount?
We didn't increase it though when we had a good year the year before. So I think I'm
That's a good
trying to be
point.
equitable.
Good point.
It's always hard to predict the future.
Well, let's leave it the same.
How much you feel like you're going on a limb, keeping it where they are in the face of inflation and lower tax revenue.
Okay, I need a motion.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that give the same in 2023 as we are in the process in 2022.
Well, let me ask, do we have the option of changing that motion later in the year if things continue or increase?
I do not believe we do.
So, because the auditor, the reason he wants it so early is,
So what we decide today is
he's getting ready to
Certify their funds.
certify their funds and our funds.
all right. I'll second the motion to keep it the way it was. Same commitment.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
So,
Question?
Tony, yeah, the amount, I think before you went to look for your computer, you had said it was around 567K last year.
I was so close. It was 564,646.65 in 2021.
I feel better.
Okay, so 564,646.65.
That's the excess.
Right, that's the
Remember-
excess. I
Yeah.
understand the road millage is, turns out 1.4 million that you share. Do you share that by statute or is that by decision?
That's by agreements with all the subdivisions.
from 1988.
1988, the last year Notre Dame won a national championship.
Very good. Now, the
Emphasis on the last time.
Actually, they won it, it was 88 season. They won it on, against West Virginia in 89. I
the
remember.
the 564 excess that gets shared, how is that divided out? Is that by population of the entity, or how does that get determined?
So, honestly, Carl, we took it from, I mean, they did it off the road mileage many years ago, and then we've decreased it proportionally.
So it's still largely based in some point on the number of roads in the
Correct.
entity. Okay. And just to double check, you reduced it 1% in 2018, 1% in 2019, 1% in 2020, made no reductions last year. And right now the decision you made was to keep it the same for next year. Is that accurate?
Let me just, yes, there was no change for 2021 and no change for 2022.
But there was a 1% in 18, 19, and 20.
Hold on, let me go back, get that right.
Okay.
It was 1% in 19 and 1% in 20.
Okay. 1% in 19, 1% in 20. No changes 21, 22, and now 23.
Correct.
That's what I needed. Thank you.
Al?
Yeah, I don't have a question on the tax distribution, but going back to the CDBG, what was the project at the Renaissance and how much did it involve?
Can you get a hold of Jodica for the exact details, please?
Yeah, I guess I could. I just
Thank you.
needed something off the top of your head. I wasn't that.
Hold on.
That was just going to be a mention.
Hold on.
I've got it in front of me, Al. It's $50,000 to install a doorway and handicap lift with landing to improve access between Theater 166 and the Buckeye Children's Museum.
There you go.
Okay, that's what I needed. That's all I needed. Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope, that's all the questions I had.
I'm good.
All right. Seeing no further business, we will adjourn at 10:02. Andrew.